Welcome to Forged from Pain, the podcast that dares to confront the darkest corners of human struggle and emerges with the beacon of hope. I'm your host, Sir Grim, and I've walked this path myself. I've known the crushing weight of pain, the suffocating grip of addiction, and the isolating darkness that feels like it's swallowing us whole. But I've also discovered the power of resilience and the unbreakable strength that lies within us all. On this podcast, we're not afraid to tackle the tough topics on addiction, recovery, and mental health struggles, and we're not alone in doing so. Joining me on this journey is my co-host, Mr. Inferno. Together, we'll share raw and unfiltered stories of struggle and triumph from those who have faced these challenges head on. You can find Forged from Pain on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and YouTube. We're also available to connect with on X platform and Truth Social. And if you want to join our community, ask questions, submit questions for the podcast, then connect with us on our Discord server. The link is in the bio and descriptions. In each episode, we'll delve into the stories of those who have been forged from pain and explore the paths they took to find healing, hope, and resilience. We'll shed light on the darkest corners of human struggle and offer a beacon of hope to those who still feel lost or alone. So join us on this journey, and let's forge a path towards healing together. So if you're ready to confront the darkness, to face your fears, and to emerge stronger on the other side, then join me on this journey. Together, let's forge something new from the pain. Welcome to Forged from Pain. Welcome to the second episode of Forged from Pain. I'm your host, Sir Grim. In today's episode, we delve into the vital topic of strategies for effective communication and recovery. We'll explore how open and honest communication can strengthen your recovery journey, improve relationships, and help you navigate the complexities of addiction, mental isolation, and family struggles. Join us as we share insights, tools, and personal experiences to help you communicate more effectively and support your path to healing and growth. To start off with, we will be going over the importance of open communication. You see, clear communication is a pivotal element in facilitating understanding and support among individuals in recovery, as well as between them and their loved ones. I'll list several ways in which effective communication plays a crucial role in this context. So starting, we got establishing trust and safety. You see, clear communication fosters an environment of trust where individuals feel safe to express their thoughts and feelings without fear or judgment. This is especially important in recovery, where individuals may be vulnerable and dealing with very complex emotions. When loved ones communicate openly and consistently, it encourages individuals in recovery to share their experiences and challenges, promoting a sense of safety and belonging. Then you'll have to clarify your expectations and boundaries. You see, recovery often involves navigating complex relationships and renegotiating roles. Clear communication helps establish mutual expectations and boundaries between individuals in recovery and their loved ones. By articulating what they need in terms of support and what behaviors might be triggering, individuals can guide their loved ones on how best to help without overstepping. This clarity can help prevent misunderstandings and feelings of resentment and the overall turn of isolating yourself by believing no one understands. So
Communicate openly. Be forthright with your expectations and what your boundaries are, and help your loved ones understand your triggers so they can better assist you. Then we will also have enhancing our emotional support. So effective communication allows us to articulate our emotional needs more clearly. You see, when we can express feelings or fear, uncertainty, or encouragement, our loved ones can respond more appropriately and empathetically. This dialogue also contributes to a deeper emotional connection, fostering a support system that acknowledges and validates the recovery journey that we are trying to partake in. Then the next step is going to be facilitating problem solving. Recovery often involves challenges that require collective problem solving, and clear communication is going to help facilitate discussions on our obstacles and potential solutions. You see, when we can openly discuss our struggles to our loved ones, then they can offer practical assistance, emotional support, or help us find resources in order to overcome what we are struggling with. Joint problem solving helps empower us in recovery, and it'll ultimately strengthen our support network. Now, what's going to be hard is balancing accountability and support. You see, in recovery, balancing accountability with support is essential. Clear communication enables both parties to understand and agree on the consequences for the behaviors that may derail our recovery, while offering encouragement for maintaining our progress. You see, when we in recovery can articulate our needs for accountability and or for support, our loved ones can respond in ways that reinforce positive behaviors without it being overly punitive. In other words, it is a bigger step in our recovery because we are entail giving our loved ones and our friends the tools to understand and help correct our behaviors and hold us accountable. So if you can get to there, like that's good all in its own in our journey of growth. And that's where it comes back to educating our loved ones. So when we're in recovery, we can benefit from educating our loved ones about our experiences, most importantly, our triggers, and most of the recovery process, setbacks. Like, we don't need you to scold us if we have a mishap and relapse. We need encouragement to shut it back out, get back on our horse, and keep riding. The clear communication serves as a teaching tool to allow our family and friends to better understand exactly. Well, no, not exactly, because there's some stuff, like, there's stuff that I've still been going through, and I still can't figure out a way to articulate it to where it is understandable. So not everything is going to be able, they won't be able to understand everything that we're going through, but the major points that we can articulate or try to put it out as best as we can and help them understand by doing a back and forth, like, this is how I feel, this is what's going on inside of my mind that I don't even myself understand, so let me try to spit it out the best I can, and then you revert that, and we'll get into that later in this episode, and bounce it back to me to make sure we're on the same page. And this knowledge will entail help everyone, help ourselves, help our loved ones, offer more informed support, and it will also reduce the likelihood of the misinterpretation or the frustration stemming from the lack of understanding. And then we will also try to help promote active listening. So, effective communication, especially in recovery and anywhere else it is applicable, includes active listening, where both parties are encouraged to listen and validate each other's perspectives. Like, this practice helps foster empathy and connection. It assures that we in recovery feel heard and understood, while also contributing to our overall sense of well-being. When loved ones practice active listening, they can better gauge how to provide the support and adjust their approaches based on the individual's needs. And then that's where we come into the encouraging of the relapse prevention. Open lines of communication allow for discussions about relapse triggers and prevention strategies. See, we can share our vulnerabilities, and a loved one can be better prepared to offer support during high-risk situations. And this proactive approach can reduce the likelihood of relapse by encouraging ongoing dialogue about feelings and experiences. But overall, clear communication is a cornerstone of a supportive recovery environment by facilitating trust, understanding, and collaboration. Effective communication enhances the recovery experience for individuals and their loved ones. It empowers relationships, fosters empathy, and creates a natural support system that is crucial for long-term recovery success. But next, we're going to talk I statements. Like, I statements are better for using as an effective communication technique because it helps promote expressing the feelings and needs while minimalizing the blame and defensiveness. So, using I methods can also foster healthier, more constructive conversations, especially in difficult situations. And I'll give you some methods on how I would teach and implement I statements. So, most of you are probably going right now, like, what even are I statements? Well, you see, I statements are a way of expressing our feelings and needs that center on the speaker's personal experience rather than attributing fault or judgment onto others. And they'll typically consist of 4 main components, starting with your emotional response, I feel, and then whatever emotion you were trying to describe. Then you'll describe the specific behavior or situation that triggered that feeling with when, and then you will explain the impact of that behavior on your experience or needs with because. And then you can state the need or request clearly with I need or I request. So I'll give you a probably 2 quick examples of that. Like, I feel angry when you come at me in a accusatory tone because of the time I've spent in prison being come at from the guards for something so minuscule that it puts me into a defensive mode. And because of that, what I request is when you come to talk to me about something, do it in a calm voice and pick the words appropriate for what you were coming at me for. Like, if I mess up on something, don't come yelling at me about it. Come talk to me like I'm a grown adult and go, hey, this wasn't where it was supposed to be. Next time you do that, can you please put that item back on the shelf? And it'd be like, okay, cool. But the benefits of using I statements is it helps reduce defensiveness by focusing on the personal feelings rather than blaming others. It invites an open dialogue as well as promotes understanding. But most importantly, it encourages the recipient to respond constructively rather than react defensively. Now, a few steps to using I statements effectively. I would go with identify your emotions. So before you even start engaging in a difficult conversation, take a moment to reflect on your emotions. What are you truly feeling? Are you feeling angry? Are you feeling hurt? Are you feeling frustrated? Are you overly anxious? Then observe those behaviors. Think about the specific behavior that you were feeling or the situation that is triggering your feelings, and avoid generalizations or assumptions about the other person's intent. All right, so instead of saying you're always ignoring me, specify a particular instance, like when you came home late without letting me know and didn't even talk about it. Then you would also state your need. So clearly express what you need or how you would like the situation to change. For example, instead of saying you're always ignoring me, so articulate the impact. Okay? Explain how their behavior affects you personally, linking it to your feelings. So, be like, I feel anxious because I worry about your safety and our plans. And then you will state your need. Clearly express what you need or how you would like the situation to change. So, example, it's like, I would appreciate it if you could text me when you're running late. That way, I know everything is okay. Like, you are safe. That's number one. And then, practice together. Have one of your loved ones role play some difficult conversations while using I statements. Like, this practice can actually help you reinforce the technique and increase comfort in the real life situations. Now, I got a couple examples for you. So we'll start off with like a conflict at the home. The situation being a partner frequently leaves dishes in the sink. You can go to your partner and be like, hey, I feel overwhelmed when I see dishes in the sink because it adds to my stress about keeping our home tidy. I would appreciate it if you could wash your dishes right after using them. Or if you have like a workplace disagreement, you can be like, a colleague always interrupting during meetings. You can take that colleague to the side and be like, hey, I just want you to know that I feel frustrated when I'm interrupted during meetings because it makes it difficult for me to share my ideas and stay on track. I would like it we could both have a chance to speak without interruptions. and then let them go. And if you got some friendship concerns, like a friend cancels plans frequently, you can be like, hey, I feel disappointed when our plans get canceled because I look forward to spending time together. I would love it if we could find a time that works better for both of us in the future. And those are just a couple of examples, Like we can go on for examples on days, but I'm not going to do that to y'all. So next we're going to go on some tips for effective use of I statements. Best thing to do is stay calm. Approach the conversation with a calm demeanor, which can also help prevent escalation. And then be specific, all right? Use precise examples rather than vague statements to enhance clarity. Practice active listening. Encourage the other person to respond using I statements as well. Promote a more constructive dialogue. And then be open to feedback. Like after using the I statements, be open to hearing the other person's perspective without interrupting. So, using I statements is a powerful tool for fostering healthier communication, particularly in challenging situations. By promoting understanding and reducing defensiveness, individuals can engage in a more productive and empathetic conversation, ultimately leading to a stronger and more positive relationships. Practicing this technique can significantly enhance the quality of interactions both personally and professionally. And I'm all about hitting two birds with one stone, if you know what I mean. And you'll be surprised, like so surprised at how many resources and tools that you can use on your self-growth journey through recovery that you can take and implement in your career, in your everyday life. Like they go hand in hand, and it is such a beautiful thing. Now, next, like I told y'all just a little bit ago, we are going to go into active listening skills. Okay? So, active listening is a vital communication skill that involves fully concentrating, understanding, responding, and remembering what the speaker says. It goes beyond just hearing the words. It requires engaging with the speaker to demonstrate empathy, validation, and understanding. And I'll give you a little bit more detailed exploration of the concept, including essential techniques. But most importantly, most of y'all are probably sitting there still going like the last one, well, what is active listening? You see, active listening is a interactive process where the listener fully engages with the speaker. This involves not only processing the information being shared, but also ensuring that the speaker feels heard and understood. The goal is to create a supportive environment that encourages open dialogue and fosters respect. You see, the importance of active listening is it builds trust. You see, when individuals feel listened to, it nurtures trust and strengthens the relationship. It also reduces misunderstandings. You see, active listening can help clarify information, minimizing the potential for miscommunication, as well as it encourages openness. So when people feel heard, they are more likely to express their thoughts, their emotions, and their concerns candidly. Like, if you show someone that you can sit there with no judgment understand what they are saying, and if you do not understand it, spit it back to them in the way that you heard it to validate that, yes, that is the way he was coming or she was coming from, and go back and forth. And if not, if the way you heard it wasn't where they were attending or trying to put off, then they can help better explain it to where you do understand it. And oh my god, it also enhances problem solving. So by fully understanding the speaker's perspective, listeners can contribute way more effectively to resolving issues in anything. Like it is amazing. Now, I'll give you a few key techniques towards active listening. We got summarizing. So the purpose of summarizing is to capture the essence of what the speaker has communicated, ensuring comprehension. A technique you can do to summarize would be, after the speaker has finished a point or a thought, you can then do a summarize by restating the main ideas in your own words. So you can be like, okay, what I'm hearing is that you're feeling overwhelmed with your workload and it is affecting your mood. Then we would go to the next technique, which would be clarifying. Okay, so the purpose of clarifying is to seek more information or understand the speaker's message better. The technique can be as easy as asking an open-ended question or paraphrasing to encourage a deeper explanation of a specific point. So an example, you can be like, can you tell me more about what made the project feel overwhelming for you? Or you can be like, when you said you felt unsupported, what did you mean by that? And then we'd go into reflecting. Now, the purpose of reflecting is to mirror the speaker's emotional state or content by showing empathy and understanding. A technique for that would be more along acknowledge emotions expressed by the speaker and reflect them back. This helps validate their feelings. A quick example of that would be like, it sounds like you're really frustrated with this situation. That must be tough for you. Or, I can sense that this is a really important issue for you. Because, when people have something that is really important to them, they get really frustrated at first when the listener is not quite understanding them. And this is sometimes due because they get trapped inside their head and they're just pounding over the same point, like, I understand what I'm saying. Why can't you understand what I'm saying? And that comes when you don't have an open line of communication and you don't practice a lot of these techniques. Next technique would be empathizing. Okay, so the purpose, obviously, is to express the understanding and compassion for the speaker's feelings. Techniques for that would be to use phrases that demonstrate empathy, showing you connect with the speaker's emotions. Now, an example of that would be, I can see how that must have been really challenging for you. Or, it's understandable that you're feeling this way. Then The next technique would be using nonverbal cues. Now, the purpose of using nonverbal cues is to enhance engagement and show attentiveness. You can do that by maintaining eye contact, nod, and acknowledgement as they are speaking, and use open body language. Appropriate facial expressions can also convey understanding. Quick example, it'd be like, just like I was saying, just nodding while the speaker is talking to show you're actively engaged, you're actively listening. Now, a few steps beside using nonverbal cues would be the most important one: avoiding interruptions. Now, obviously, the purpose for this is so that we allow the speaker to express themselves without feeling rushed or cut off. Some techniques we can do is to practice patience by resisting the urge to interject. Wait until the speaker has finished before responding. Like, if you have a thought or response to something they're stating, jot them down instead of interrupting the flow of the conversation. Wait, have some patience, just always keep a notepad on you. That's like one of the best things I can say. Just keep a notepad on you. That way, if you're in a conversation with multiple people, you can just have your notepad out while you're listening to the person. And then if you have questions, you can just jot them down. And I'm working on this myself too, because I have a tendency of, I hear something and I want to correct that real quick. And I have an issue of letting people continue because I want to correct the one thing I just heard. And I put it in my mind, like, I got to correct that one thing, because if that one piece of information is not corrected, I don't know how much of the further information is going to be based off of that one piece of information that is false. So my mind goes, you need to correct that piece of information. That way, if anything past that is connected to that piece of information, the speaker will automatically know right then and there, like, oh God, the rest of my information is going to be troublesome too if this piece of information is false. And it causes a lot of issues. And that is one of the things that I'm still working on personally too. I have a real bad habit of interjecting. So, a few steps for practicing active listening is, be present. Focus your attention entirely on the speaker. Avoid distractions like your phone, other conversations, or most importantly, your own thoughts. Lord knows that's hard enough sometimes. And then foster a comfortable environment. Ensure that the setting is conducive to conversation with minimal interruptions and a welcoming atmosphere. Encourage the dialogue. Use open-ended questions to encourage the speaker to elaborate their thoughts. And then paraphrase and validate. After the speaker finishes, paraphrase what you heard and validate their thoughts, which also goes under checking for understanding, because at the end of the conversation, use all of your notes that you made and ask if your understanding is accurate. I mean, this can reinforce clarity and understanding so fast with the speaker, and it shows them like, hey, I was beyond listening, but there are some discrepancies in what you said that I'm just not understanding. You see, active listening is a crucial skill that fosters deeper connection, minimalizes misunderstandings, and enhances communication. By incorporating techniques such as summarizing, clarifying, reflecting, and showing empathy, individuals can create an environment where all parties feel heard and understood. The practice of active listening not only enriches interpersonal relationships, but it also promotes a culture of respect and open dialogue, facilitating personal and professional growth. Now, our next segment that we're going to be doing is about setting boundaries. Okay. We're going to highlight the necessity of setting healthy boundaries in relationships, as well as doing a quick discussion on how it can protect one's recovery and promote mutual respect. You see, setting healthy boundaries in relationships is a crucial aspect of maintaining one's well-being. Promoting mutual respect and fostering positive interactions with others, boundaries act as guidelines that define acceptable behavior and clarify the roles and responsibilities of individuals within a relationship. You see, when established and communicated effectively, boundaries can protect one's recovery, especially in the context like addiction, mental health, or personal growth, and enhance the quality of relationships. I'll give you a deeper look into the necessity of setting healthy boundaries. And I'm pretty sure some people out there, and hopefully they have an opportunity to hear this because they need it. But I'm pretty sure some of y'all out there are going, but why are healthy boundaries so necessary? You see, healthy boundaries are, we put them in place for ourselves to protect our own well-being. You see, boundaries serve as a form of self-care, helping us to shield individuals from their emotional, physical, and psychological harm. By understanding and articulating what is acceptable and what is not, we can protect our own mental and emotional health, as well as our physical too. You see, for those in recovery from addiction or trauma, maintaining boundaries can prevent triggers that may lead to a relapse or emotional distress, as well as promoting mutual respect. You see, healthy boundaries foster respect between individuals. When people articulate their needs and limits, it encourages others to understand and honor those boundaries as a sign of respect for one's autonomy. This mutual understanding also nurtures trust and encourages a collaborative approach to problem solving in relationships, as well as enhancing one's self-esteem and confidence. You see, when establishing and maintaining boundaries helps us develop a stronger sense of self, it also empowers us to prioritize our needs and our values and reinforcing our self-worth. Knowing that one's limits are taken seriously also fosters our confidence, making it easier to navigate others' aspects of life. Improving our communication. By clearly defining our boundaries, it leads to a clearer communication. You see, when individuals know what is expected and what behaviors are unacceptable, conversations tend to be more straightforward and effective. You see, this proactive communication reduces the misunderstandings and the conflicts from misunderstandings and helps make discussions more productive. Is encouraging healthy relationships. You see, healthy boundaries define the acceptable levels of interaction and intimacy, helping to establish a balanced power dynamic in relationships. Now, this balance minimizes feelings of resentment or entitlement, which can lead to toxic dynamics. And we'll get into those later on. But relationships grounded in mutual respect for one's boundaries are more likely to flourish, especially as both parties feel valued and secure. You see, supporting personal growth as well, the boundaries provide the necessary space for individuals and personal growth. They ensure that the individuals can engage in self-explanation without undue influence from others. You see, most importantly, for those in recovery, setting boundaries is fundamental in rebuilding their identity and maintaining the focus on their personal growth and their achievements through their recovery. Now, a lot of you might go, how can we set healthy boundaries? And quite honestly, first thing you got to do is identify your needs and identify your limits. Reflect on what situations, behaviors, or interactions that made you feel uncomfortable, overwhelmed, or disrespected. Consider both emotional and physical boundaries. All right? Understand your non-negotiables in terms of time, energy, resources, and personal values. Then communicate clearly and assertively. So once you have identified your boundaries, communicate them clearly and assertively with others. Use I statements to express your needs while emphasizing your feelings. So, like, example, I need some quiet time after work to recharge, so I won't be available for calls until the evening. Then be consistent. All right. Consistency is crucial while reinforcing your boundaries. If your boundaries are enforced inconsistently, it can lead to confusion or manipulation. If someone crosses a boundary, address it immediately to make it maintain clarity and respect. And then practice your self-care. Okay? Recognize that setting and maintaining boundaries may be challenging. There ain't no maybe about it. I'll tell you that right now. But some of them you're like, well, I can see where it can be, but some people I can let it slide. No, don't even get that thought out your head. All right. Because all of your boundaries need to be consistent. All right. Need to be. See, recognizing that the relationships that may push back against them, and then you got to be like, those are going to be the really challenging ones, the ones that want to push back against your boundaries, because you got to put yourself first. You got to think, if they truly cared about you, if they truly loved you, they will respect your boundaries. Remember that. Don't ever question. Actions speak louder than words. So if you express to them your boundaries and they still push, that's where you got to practice your self-care. Cut the ties. Burn the bridge, per se, but leave the tools. If you really love them, burn the bridge, but leave the tools for them to build it back. And by tools, I mean actions. Leave it clear. You've already laid out your boundaries. So if their actions do not align with your boundaries, that bridge is never built. But if their actions align with your boundaries and align with what you have laid down and set forth for your foundation, then that is the bridge rebuilt. But only when their actions show what they are trying to say. And then, most importantly, prioritize your self-care practices that support of your emotional and physical well-being. Making sure that you surround yourself with supportive individuals who respect your boundaries and encourage your personal growth. Be prepared for resistance by a lot of people who claim to be your loved ones or your friends. Most of them are just acquaintances. You'll learn that later on in life. Some individuals may resist or challenge your boundaries, especially if they're used to a different dynamic. So be prepared for a bit of a pushback, but remain firm in your commitment to your own boundaries. Remember, if you can't respect your own boundaries and you can't stand on the principle of your own boundaries that you set, people are going to walk all over them, because if you can't respect them, what makes you think they're going to respect them? And then understand that you have the right to enforce and adjust your boundaries, regardless of others' reactions. Like, it don't matter what they think. It don't matter what they say. At the end of the day, if they are going over your boundaries and trampling them like they don't care, then they don't deserve a spot at your table. You can be like, I'm sorry, boo-boo, but, I love you, but you ain't eating here. You can take your happy butt on down the road, because you ain't sitting at this table. I ain't going to let you starve, but I ain't letting you eat here neither. Now, most importantly, if needed, like if you're having so many issues, then please seek some professional guidance. Like, if needed, seek it. So, especially for individuals in recovery or facing particularly challenging relationship dynamics, seeking the help of a therapist or counselor can be beneficial. Not to everybody, but to some people it can be. I'm not a big fan of therapists, but I'm not going to tell y'all that it's not going to work for you, because I don't know. I truly do not know. I don't know you. I don't know your mind. I could not tell you whether or not therapy will work for you. Like, I can't even tell my own family, will therapy work for you? I don't know. Go try it. Tell me. But that's mostly because the professionals can provide the support in formulating your boundaries and strategies for communicating them, as well as helping dig deep to figure out what boundaries align or what boundaries are for you, like what you need personally in your journey of growth that you need if you cannot figure any of them out. And, you know, setting healthy boundaries is essential for personal well being. Fostering mutual respect and cultivating healthy relationships. By understanding and articulating boundaries, individuals can protect their recovery journey, enhance communication, and empower themselves to engage in healthier interactions. You see, healthy boundaries create an environment where all parties feel respected, valued, and understood, ultimately leading to a more fulfilling and supportive relationship. Next strategy we will be talking about for open communication falls in line with the most important aspect of it all, which is expressing your needs and emotions. Articulating emotional needs to friends and family can be a vital step in fostering supportive relationships. You see, clear communication helps ensure that our loved ones understand how to provide the necessary support that we need. Now, I'll give you a quick guide that we will just run through. Express your needs and emotions effectively. And we went through a few of these steps, but we're still going to retouch them because that's how I believe, Re-smack it into your head. That way you never forget. So first we're going to go with self-reflection. All right? So before communicating your emotional needs, you need to take the time to reflect on them. I'd consider the following, identify special needs, identify specific needs, recognize what you require emotionally. Are you seeking support? Are you seeking someone to listen? Are you seeking someone to give you encouragement? Or are you needing space? You need to be specific. Then understand your feelings. Take stock of all of your emotions and the reasons behind your needs. Understanding what you're feeling and why can help you express it with clarity. Then choose the right time and setting. All right. Select an appropriate time. Choose a moment when both you and the person that you are speaking to are free and relaxed. Avoid times when either of you might be stressed or distracted. So, like avoid right after work where they're probably going to be stressed and overwhelmed from their day. Give them a couple hours to relax and decompress after work and then try to talk to them. Then choose a comfortable environment. So, place that's nice, quiet, comfortable space that can help facilitate an open and honest conversation. Like whether it be your living room with the TV off, or what have you. And then use I statements, all right? Using the I statements can help express your needs without sounding accusatory or demanding. This approach encourages the understanding and reduces the defensiveness by a lot. So, instead of saying, you never listen to me, try, I feel unheard when I share my thoughts, and it would mean a lot to me if we could have some focused time to talk. Be specific and clear. Clearly define your needs. Outline what you need in detail instead of vague requests like I need help. Specify what that means. Whether it's listening to you vent, providing encouragement, or offering advice. Illustrate with examples if applicable. All right? Only if it's applicable, because sometimes you can't illustrate anything with examples. but share specific situations that demonstrate your needs. All right. This can help the other person understand the context and why you are asking for their support. Express vulnerability. All right. Share your emotions. It can be so helpful to express your emotions genuinely. Letting someone know how you feel can foster empathy and a deeper connection. You know, you got to be able to acknowledge your vulnerability. Let them know how it feels. Let them know that it feels vulnerable to share your needs. And that can encourage them to respond with compassion. You know, request the feedback, invite them to share, ask them for their thoughts or their feelings about what you've shared. This not only promotes dialogue, but can also provide insight onto how they perceive the situation. You know, like a quick example would be how do you feel about what I shared? Do you think we can find a way to make this work together? Be open to their response. Manage expectations, all right? Understand that your loved ones may not always know how to respond or support you immediately. So be open to their responses and willing to engage in a discussion about it. Allow room for dialogue. Encourage a two-way conversation where they can express their own boundaries or their feelings about your needs. And then you both can set healthy boundaries. You know, communicate your limits. If your needs involve boundaries, such as needing space or specific times for conversations to be clear about these limits to prevent the misunderstandings. You know, for like example, be like, I appreciate your willingness to listen, but I might need some time alone after work to unwind before we talk. All right. Then express your gratitude. Acknowledge their support. Regardless of the outcome of your conversation, express the gratitude for their willingness to listen and engage with you. Appreciation reinforces the positive connections and encourages the future discussions. You know, like it is as easy as being like, thank you for being here for me and for being open to what I shared. You have no idea how much that means to me. And then, most importantly, follow up. Revisit the conversation. You know, after some time, check in with your friend or family member to see how they feel about the conversation and whether adjustments are needed. You know, example would be like, hey, thanks for listening to me the other day. How do you think that went? I'd love to continue talking about how we can support each other better. You know, effectively articulating your emotional needs to friends and family can significantly strengthen y'all's relationships and provide the support that you require. By being clear, vulnerable, and open to dialogue, you create an environment where both you and your loved ones feel respected and understood. This proactive communication helps foster deeper connections while promoting empathy and enhances overall well being. So give it a try, you know? Like, all you can do in life is try. That's all we got. Next way is going to be, you know, navigating the difficult conversations, you know? Approaching challenging discussions, especially topics like relapse or feelings of isolation, requires sensitivity, honesty, and a well thought out approach. You see, these conversations can be emotionally charged, and it is important to create a safe space for open dialogue. I'll give you a few strategies to facilitate these discussions effectively. First thing you got to do is prepare yourself emotionally. All right? Reflect on your thoughts. Take time to understand your feelings about the situation. What do you want to communicate? Why is it essential for you to share this with the other person? Identify your goals. Determine what you hope to achieve from this conversation. Are you seeking support? Are you seeking understanding? Or is it a specific type of help? Having a clear goal can help keep the discussion focused and de-escalated. Then choose the right time and place. Find an appropriate setting. Choose a private, comfortable environment where both you and the other person feel safe to express your feelings without distractions. Select the right time. Timing matters. Ensure that both you and the person you're speaking to can dedicate time to the conversation without feeling rushed or preoccupied. Then use I statements. All right. Own your experience. Frame your feelings using I statements to communicate your experience without blaming or making the other person defensive. All right. So instead of saying, you don't understand what I'm going through, you can try saying, I feel overwhelmed and isolated right now, and I need some support. Be honest and vulnerable. Okay? Share your feelings. Speak out openly about your emotional state. Be honest about your struggles, whether related to relapse, loneliness, or other sensitive topics. Express your vulnerability. Acknowledge that it is challenging to talk about these feelings, which can help the other person recognize the weight of the conversation. Be direct, but be gentle. All right? Get to the point. While it's important to approach the topic with sensitivity, clarity is essential. Be straightforward about what you want to discuss, but do so in a gentle and considerate manner. Be like, I'd like to talk about my recent relapse and how I've been feeling about it. Hey, can I use you as a soundboard? I just need to vent and possibly get some advice at the end of it, and then go into the conversation. But you got to be able to invite the participation, all right? Encourage the dialogue. After sharing your feelings, invite the other person to respond. This helps them feel involved in the conversation and helps encourage a collaborative approach to the problem solving to make sure that what you are going through hopefully won't happen again. And you can do that simply by going, I'd really value your perspective on what I'm going through. How do you feel about this? And then listen actively, be open to their response. Allow the other person to share their thoughts and feelings without interruption. Validate their emotions and perspectives, even if they differ from yours. You got to practice the act of listening to be able to show empathy by nodding, using affirming language, and summarizing what they say to ensure that you truly understand their viewpoint. And then acknowledge their feelings. Recognize their emotions. If your discussion partner reacts with surprise, concern, or sadness, acknowledge their feelings. This can reinforce a sense of connection despite the heavy topic. And that can be as easy as going like, hey, I understand that hearing about my relapse may be upsetting, and I appreciate you being willing to talk to me about it. And then discuss situations and solutions together. Collaborate on support. If the conversation centers on challenges like relapse or feelings of isolation, discuss strategies for moving forward. Ask how they might be able to support you and seek their insights on possible solutions. And all you'd really have to do is be like, what do you think might help me when I feel like I'm about to relapse? Or what do you think could help me when I'm starting to feel isolated? And then follow up. You're going to follow up a lot. You got to check there after the initial conversation. Just follow up to discuss any agreed upon actions or to simply continue the dialogue. This helps reinforce that you value their support and want to maintain the connection. You can do that by being like, hey, I've been working on what we talked about. Can we chat again soon to see how it's going? And then practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. Recognize that vulnerable conversations are difficult and that it is okay to feel anxious or uncertain before and after these discussions. Allow yourself grace in this process. Self-reflection. After the conversation, take time to reflect on what went well and what you might want to improve for further discussions. Approaching challenging discussions with sensitivity and honesty can promote deeper connection and foster understanding. By preparing, using clear language, active listening, and inviting cooperation, you can navigate sensitive topics effectively. These conversations, while difficult, can ultimately strengthen your relationship, enhance your support networks, and provide the emotional relief and understanding that you are seeking. But we will go into the next one, which is the role of nonverbal communication. All right. You see, body language, your tone of voice, and facial expressions are crucial components to communication that can significantly impact the effectiveness of our discussions, especially in sensitive topics like recovery-related conversations. And here is how each element plays a vital role. You see, body language, i.e., nonverbal cues, includes gestures, postures, and movements that convey feeling and attitudes. For example, open body language, uncrossed arms, leaning slightly forward can indicate receptiveness and willingness to engage, while closed body language, crossing arms or legs, physically turning away, can signal the defensiveness or discomfort. Then you got presence. Maintaining a relaxed and attentive posture signifies that you are engaged and present in the conversation. This can help create a safe environment for discussing vulnerable topics. Then you got proximity. The physical distance between you and the person you're speaking with also matters. Being too far away may seem disinterested, while standing too close may feel invasive. Finding a comfortable distance shows respect and openness. Just like gestures. All right, hand movements and nodding can emphasize points made during the conversation, reinforce understanding, and demonstrate that you are actively listening and engaged. However, overly animated gestures can be distracting. and a way to show that you're acting like you're listening, but you've actually tuned them out and you're just nodding your head to make them feel better. Then you got your tone of voice. All right. The tone of voice give you your emotional conveyance. So the tone of voice can express a wide range of emotions and attitudes, often more powerfully than words alone. A calm, steady voice can convey confidence and empathy, while a shaky or overly loud voice may indicate anxiety, conflict, or stress. Then you have the pacing. The speed at which you speak can also affect reception. You see, speaking too quickly can suggest nervousness or a desire to rush through the conversation, while a slower pace allows for reflection and demonstrates thoughtfulness. Inflection and emphasis. You see, changing the emphasis on specific words can shift the meaning and impact of a statement. So, for example, emphasizing the word I in I feel overwhelmed highlights personal experience, making it clear that these are subjective feelings rather than accusations or criticism. Then your facial expressions. Your facial expressions are perhaps the most immediate indicators of feelings. A furrowed brow, a warm smile, or a look of concern can communicate empathy, sympathy, and understanding. This can help foster trust and emotional connection in sensitive discussions. You see, reacting to content, your facial responses can provide live feedback during a conversation. Nodding or maintaining eye contact can encourage the speaker and signal that their feelings are being acknowledged, while frowning or looking away can inadvertently shut down the dialogue. You see, subtly mirroring the other person's facial expressions can help create a rapport. If the person shares a difficult experience and shows sadness, reflecting that sadness appropriately can demonstrate empathy and understanding. You see, given the vulnerable nature of recovery related conversations, the interplay of body language, tone of voice, and facial expressions can have profound implications, such as fostering trust. You see, positive body language, a gentle tone, a supportive facial expression contribute to a sense of safety and trust. When individuals feel understood, they are more likely to share their struggles and emotions openly. It encourages openness when discussing topics like relapse or feelings of isolation, empathetic, and inviting nonverbal communication can encourage the speaker to be more honest and forthcoming about their experiences. And in do so, it can also reduce the misunderstandings. So misinterpretations can lead to unnecessary conflict, especially in the delicate discussions. Constant nonverbal cues that align with the verbal message can help ensure the clarity and reduce the confusion that the speaker is going to need to open up fully. And then facilitating, all right, in recovery, discussions providing reassurances through body language like leaning in or nodding and tone, a soft affirming voice, can enhance the overall message of support and understanding. So, in summary, body language, your tone of voice, and your facial expressions are integral to effective communication, particularly in the sensitive discussions like those surrounding recovery. So, being mindful of these nonverbal cues can enhance the understanding, strengthen your connections, and create a more supportive atmosphere conducive to healing and growth. And individuals can foster deep connections and meaningful conversations by aligning the verbal and nonverbal communication. And that's all we need in the path of recovery is clear, open communication. Break the stigma and talk. Break the stigma and express yourself. Let your loved ones be able to help you. Because if we can't do that, then not only are you hurting yourself, but you are inadvertently hurting your loved ones. And that's just something that y'all just need to remember. Like, you are loved. You're not alone. And that is why we come down to the next one, which is utilizing the communication tools. Okay? Now, when you are face to face, conversations can feel overwhelming or challenging, especially having alternative tools for expressing thoughts and feelings can be incredibly beneficial. So, here are several tools and strategies that y'all can use to facilitate communication and express your emotional state. First off, we got journals. All right. You can have personal journals. Keeping a personal journal can be a powerful way to explore and articulate feelings. Journaling provides a private space to express your thoughts without fear of judgment, helping us process our emotions and gain clarity on our emotions. Then you can use guided journal, where guided journals that have prompts focused on specific themes such as recovery, coping with anxiety, or self-reflection. Some of these prompts can help facilitate deeper exploration of your feelings, as well as gratitude journals. Writing down things you're grateful for can shift focus from the negative feelings to positive experiences, enhancing your overall emotional well-being and encouraging a more beneficial and balanced perspective. And you also got digital journaling apps, like Day One. This app will actually allow users to keep a digital journal, incorporating text, photos, and even audio entries. The structured prompts can help guide reflection, making journaling a more interactive experience. Or you have Journey, which is another journaling app that syncs across multiple devices, allowing users to write entries anytime, anywhere. It includes mood tracking features that can help users identify patterns in their emotions over time. And then you even got Penzu. So, Penzu is an online private journal that allows users to write and store their entries securely. The option for private or public sharing can be a useful way for users to choose whether they want to keep their thoughts to themselves or if they want to share them selectively. Sorry. We also have chat apps and messaging tools. So you got Signal, WhatsApp, and Telegram. Now, these messaging apps are great for sending quick thoughts or feelings to a trusted friend or supported person. When face-to-face conversations feels daunting, they allow the users to express themselves through text, which can feel less intimidating than speaking in person. Then you have anonymous chat apps like Seven Cups. Now, Seven Cups offers a anonymous chat support with trained listeners for individuals who prefer to remain anonymous while discussing their feelings and experiences. You also have group chats. Creating a supportive group chat with friends or family can help facilitate ongoing conversations about recovery or mental health. They can also provide a platform for sharing resources or encouragement. And for the group chats, man, I'd go with Signal, Discord, like create your own community, or come over to Forged from Pain's Discord. Link still in the bio. And then we got voice note apps like voice memos. Using built-in voice recording apps on the smartphones allows users to speak their thoughts and feelings instead of writing them down. This tool can be particularly useful for those who process emotions verbally but find traditional conventions challenging. You also have Otter.ai, an app that can transcribe spoken words in real time, making it easy to capture your thoughts and feelings. Users can use this to dictate their feelings without feeling pressured to write. We also got some creative expression tools like art journaling. Combining writing with drawing or painting can be a therapeutic outlet. It's a great therapeutic outlet, especially keeping an art journal allows for the exploration of your emotions through creative expression, providing a different perspective on your challenges. Then you got mind mapping apps, tools like MindMeister, that is MindMeister, Meister, allows individuals to visually organize thoughts, feelings, and concerns. This can be particularly helpful when trying to process your complex emotions and track your recovery journey. Then you have mental health apps like MoodFit. MoodFit is an app that is designed for mental wellness that includes mood tracking, journaling, and learning tools. Users can track their feelings and identify patterns to help guide conversations when they're ready. Or have a Calm or Headspace. While not traditional journaling tools, these apps also provide meditation and mindfulness practices that can help users center themselves and prepare for challenging conversations. See, journaling can also follow meditation to capture any insights gained. And then we got support forums and online communities. We got subreddits. Reddits. Communities on Reddit can provide a platform for sharing experiences related to recovery in a less personal context. The anonymity often encourages openness about sensitive experiences. And then you got the support group platforms, websites like Mental Health America or peer support groups offer forums where individuals can connect, share, and obtain support from those with similar experiences, providing understanding without the pressure of direct conversations. So, in summary for today, when face-to-face discussions feel overwhelming, utilizing tools such as journals, chat apps, and creative expression methods can provide alternative ways to express your thoughts and feelings. These tools not only facilitate emotional exploration, but also foster a sense of connection, understanding, and support. By leveraging these resources, individuals can navigate their emotional landscapes, preparing them for when they are ready to engage in direct conversations and take on their emotions head first. So remember, you were loved, you were strong, and you were awesome. Now, if you enjoyed this episode and this conversation, then please subscribe to any of our channels, join us on Discord, and message us, become a guest on the show. Share your story and share how your path has awakened a deeper sense of understanding for yourself. And with that, I will leave y'all with
Thanks for joining me on this episode of Forged from Pain. I hope our conversation has given you a glimpse into some of the complexities of the human struggle and the power of resilience that lies within us all. Remember, you're not alone in your pain. You're not alone in your struggles. And you are not alone in your desire to heal and move forward. If you've been touched by today's conversation, I invite you to share your own story with me. Reach out to me on social media or leave a comment on our website. Let's keep this conversation going, and let's continue to forge something new from the pain. And before I go, I want to leave you with a reminder. Pain is not a curse, but an opportunity for growth. It's a chance to rediscover yourself, to redefine your purpose, and to emerge stronger and more resilient than ever before. Thank you for listening to Forged from Pain. Until next time, stay strong.